In other news, this situation began with Tectone publicly responding to the allegations and legal filings involving Pinkture. In his response, Tectone pushed back strongly against the claims, framing himself as being unfairly targeted and insisting that much of what was being said online was either exaggerated or taken out of context. He used his platform to defend his actions, criticize how the situation was being portrayed, and argue that public opinion had already been turned against him before the full story was known. That response immediately reignited debate across the streaming community. Some viewers felt Tectone was finally telling his side, while others believed his statements only raised more questions, especially given the existence of court documents and protective orders that had already been discussed publicly. The divide quickly hardened, with each side interpreting his response very differently. Shortly after, Mizkif addressed the situation on his own stream. Unlike Tectone's defensive approach, Mizkif framed his response around documentation and process. He explained that he had access to court-related information, reference notes taken from proceedings, and emphasized that his commentary wasn't based on rumors or hearsay, but on what he claimed was verifiable material. Mizkif also made it clear that he had intentionally stayed quiet earlier so as not to interfere while legal matters were ongoing. Mizkif's response shifted the conversation again, away from personal defenses and toward evidence, timelines, and what had actually been presented in court. His tone suggested frustration, not just with Tectone, but with how quickly narratives form online without people waiting for facts. At the same time, his involvement raised its own questions about what should or shouldn't be discussed publicly when legal cases are still unfolding. It's defamatory to label Tectone as a criminal, as that is a false and slanderous statement. Hilariously and hypocritically, the exact thing you're trying to sue everyone for. You're only making yourself look more guilty, destroying your own cases, and burning any bridges and ruining any name you had left. Well, I agree with some things you said, but let's don't beat around the bush. You are just as questionable as Tectone is. Or you still think you're a victim because your ex abused you with a plushie? Says Amiru's abuser and manipulator that literally had to leave town because he turned all his friends on him for being a creep. Kick streamer Mizkif calls out Tectone for never denying the allegations and hiding behind civil case technicalities.
And you didn't face, and I'm not going to face any criminal charges. I'm not involved in criminal proceedings, and I wasn't convicted of a crime. In fact, my girlfriend never even went to the police. So why would you ever attack me, but you save yourself when you're backed in the corner? It makes no sense. She's not even suing me. I'm suing her. Guys, this was a civil hearing with a significantly lower standard of proof than a criminal proceeding. Like, I hate it. I hate that this guy just can't apologize. I hate that these people can't just, like, own up to it and say, like, I'm trying to be better. I thought that's what he was going to say because I thought really that was the only response. But clearly that's not the only thing he said. He never said he didn't do it. Exactly. That's what's crazy. He never said he didn't do it. You want to know why? Because he can't talk about it, chat. He can't talk about it, and he did do it. He literally admits it. I'm going to show you guys a clip that I saw today that someone linked. It's over from here. This is the nail in the coffin for Tectone. This transcript is going to show the realities and truth that anyone wants to pretend is not real. And I would like to see anyone's opinions on whether or not they're going to hang out with Tectone after this, because they cannot deny the realities of what Tectone is. I've also had a lot of people reach out to me and say, thank you, Mizkif. Girls, guys, people have dealt with Tectone being like, this guy was just a piece of for years. People have been telling me to hold no punches. You shouldn't say that to me, but yeah, I think that Tectone is
Popular Twitch streamer Hasan has been suspended from Twitch, this time for 7 days. This marks his 7th ban from the service. According to reports, the suspension stems from comments he made during a recent livestream that Twitch determined violated its community guidelines. While details of the specific phrase that triggered the action weren't fully outlined in the initial notice, several outlets confirmed the ban applied to his Twitch channel and resulted in it being temporarily inaccessible. What are your guys' thoughts on Hasan's comments? Let me know in the comments below. In case people don't know how these bans work, this one is a temporary ban, not an indefinite ban. You can see this by going to his Twitch channel, where it shows the following message. This channel is temporarily unavailable due to a violation of Twitch's community guidelines or terms of service. It would say currently not temporarily if it were an indefinite ban.